guys kind of help me get through certain things. What a barrier sometimes, because I feel afraid that, oh, I'm too old to be in school.
I'm a gay Mexican American student. I've gone to other community colleges because I'm from Michigan, and it was like people just looked away from me. They didn't really talk to me. They like saw me like I was a disease. But here it's like I've noticed there's a lot of different cultures and a lot of different people, and everybody's just so accepting.
And sometimes people are like, no, I don't know, you are from India, that's why you know math. But it's not like that. If you dedicate enough time for anything, you will always know. You don't have to be Indian or from Korea, Japan to know math. If you dedicate your time to math, you will know. So, as people say, that if you judge the fish by her ability to climb a tree, she will always think that she is not good. So, we are all good.
I'm an international student from Kazakhstan. I just graduated from high school. 1 year ago I was in high school of Orlando in Florida. And I think the main problem of mine was that I didn't speak to people and didn't practice. So that's because I was shy, and one time in the class I said something and people didn't understand me and they started laughing at me. And so after that I got like embarrassed after. As an international student, I can say that you have to be strong and be convinced of yourself.
I'm from Brazil. It's my 3rd month here. I remember every day the moment that I had to say goodbye to my family and my friends and got inside the airplane. It's a very difficult moment, but when you get here, you see how people that never met you they try to help you. And we have so many bad things around the world, wars, but here you realize that human being can be very good.
The idea is, how do we create a more welcoming and inclusive college for our community and for our students? Then how do we use that in a way that creates more success for our students and our community? You know, diversity and inclusion are such abstract concepts. If you ask people what that means, you're going to get a lot of different answers. And that's the way it should be, because we all come at it from different places.
Diversity is a fact, but pluralism is an accomplishment. When you've got diversity, yeah, okay, so we've got a diverse campus. That doesn't mean that they've built bridges with one another. And to build those bridges and to build that trust and to build those communities, that takes work. And that's why the pluralism that he talks about is the accomplishment.
We've been able over the past 5 years to initiate a grassroots effort. Our council has created a definition for diversity and inclusion, but it's really a guidepost, because what needs to happen is that you need to have a plan for how you're going forward with it. So there's been a lot of work on putting together a diversity and inclusion plan and make some meaningful objectives in it, make it something that really makes a difference, so that people understand what's happening and can see the progress that's being made.
HCC is the most diverse community college in the nation currently. And that is no surprise, as Houston is the most diverse city in the nation. As we are, one of the leading industry academic environments for diversity, because whether we acknowledge it or not, our nation is becoming more diverse. There's so much research out there, whether it's statistical, qualitative or quantitative, that highlight the benefits of having a diverse institution of all genders, races, sexualities, ADA, veteran status. So diversity is something that impacts us all. It allows us to become better professionals. It allows us to become better students. It allows us to create and foster an environment where the culture is changed so that everyone feels more welcome. If you go into a work environment where you don't feel like you're respected, or how you feel doesn't matter, or the people around you don't value you, you won't put forth your best effort. You'll do just enough to get by. And so here at HCC, we want to empower both our employees and our students to actually know that how they feel and who they are not only tolerated, but are celebrated here at HCC. And this is what the leading aspect of this diversity and inclusion initiative is about. And so with that, we're making an intentional effort to make sure that we're reviewing every aspect of what we do every day to make sure that all areas are inclusive and not just diverse.
We are the model for the community and what the world is going to develop into. The research has been really clear over the past years that if you have a complex problem to deal with, then you need to get a diverse group of people to come together, because then you have the different attitudes, the different values, the different backgrounds, and you can look at a lot of ways to resolve an issue. And what you usually find is there's a combination of those. To do that, you need to be able to make people understand and feel heard. And that's what the diversity plan is about, and that's what the inclusion plan is about.
They actually developed 9 employee resource groups throughout the entire college system. They asked them questions specific to their culture. These groups ranged from African Americans to Hispanics to Asian Americans, members of the LGBT community, members of the ADA community, members of the veterans community, women's groups. These 9 groups were specifically asked, if you were given the ideal work environment, what would allow you to feel welcomed? What would allow you to feel like you could put forth your best effort every day and be in a work environment that you wanted to be in? They took the major themes that were identified by each of these categorical small subgroups and that were highlighted amongst all the groups. They developed 5 goals of the 9 groups. And so HCC then officially adopted and had their official goals. And from there, we developed our first diversity and inclusion plan, which is we understand that every college here at HCC is different. Every college has its own culture. Every college has a different climate. And so honoring the differences instead of just tolerating the differences, but celebrating the differences. We allow each college to actually set forth and implement objectives that they themselves derive and come up with that actually support each goal that was identified.
There's some very important goals which talk about how we're going to treat each other, the things we need to learn about to be able to be better in working with each other. Things like how do we create universal design and deal with ADA issues that affect persons with disabilities, but also affect every one of us when you're talking about universal design. How do we create a college that really reaches more people and more students? And our final goal, which is really important, is we want to strive to reflect the diversity of our community. Now that's an issue that we all know is an emerging process. As our community changes, as it grows, the picture or the face of the community changes. And we need to be sensitive to that. And as a college, we need to deal with that.
We serve as a resource to each college. We provide trainings. We have a yearly Diversity and Inclusion Council retreat where every year we sit down and look at what each college has submitted, their objectives, what they want to do for the year to actually champion the issues of diversity and inclusion that they have decided on as a college committee. That during the spring semester, at the conclusion of the academic year, we host another major event called the Diversity and Inclusion Summit, where we allow both the college committees and the institutional leaders both to come forward in an open forum presentation and give us feedback and report out on this year's or the most recent year's diversity and inclusion plan objectives. So we set out what we want to do at the end of the summer before the academic year starts. We actually roll out the plan at the beginning of the fall semester. The plan is implemented, given the developmental opportunities and training at the retreat. And then at the conclusion of the spring semester, there is the opportunity to come back and give feedback and say, hey, this is what we did, this is what our challenges were, this is what we need help championing going forward. So that's just it's a continual growth process, that it's not this one-time initiative, if you would, but that it's developing not only a climate, but a culture of diversity and inclusion.
Houston is such a strong and growing community as a result of it being a global community. Houston Community College is known to being the college that has the highest number of international students of any college in the country, not just community colleges, but any college period in the country. So it makes perfect sense that that Houston Community College and Houston be in the forefront of all of this diversity activity. We're very much involved, our Diversity Council, with community diversity activities as well. With the larger Houston community and its diversity activities. We're very proud of that.
Our job is to plan different events that will embrace our diverse community and bring them all together and like we did today at Cafe Dialogue.
These type of events for me are really important because give us the opportunity to know about other cultures. Even if we have a relationship with the students for another countries every day, in this type of events you have the opportunity to know specific things about the culture. And today, for example, we have the opportunity to try different type of food.
I talked to a lot of new things today, which was traditions, cultures, customs, some wisdom. So it's a fantastic event because at one place you got to meet like all parts of world. Within 2 hours, I was learning everything about them. So I think we can't ask for more.
It enriches us. It gives us more experiences and opportunities to pull from as we move forward. It creates more opportunities for confrontation and conflict, which is a big part of why we established the HCC Center for Diversity and Dispute Resolution, to acknowledge the fact that when you have differences coming together, that you're going to have these culture clashes, you're going to have these differences of opinion. Some of them are based in religion, which can be the hardest ones to try to find ways through. Many of them are based on our family upbringing, our cultures, the foods we eat. I mean, they all reflect the differences that are involved with the college and the things we do at the colleges. I think we have somewhere over 120 countries represented in our institution, which is huge. When you look at the differences that brings to us. And students can look around their campuses and classrooms and see a level of diversity that was never there before. And being an urban community college is a level of a diversity that really hasn't been developed in most of the world. So we really do become a model for where we're going. It really does become, what we do can really lead this community, this college, this city, and this nation into a process where we're really looking at each other and learning from each other.
Because of communication, because of technology, we have become a global world like we never imagined. And you don't even have to leave Houston. You don't even have to leave your house with all the media that we have to get immersed in the global world. You think of the challenges going on right now, today. What's on the news? Ebola. We have terrorism. We have just all of these things that go on that brings the entire world, and we've talked about the news cycle, that brings it to us instantaneously. And so differences are just so much more prevalent than the world so many of us grew up in. We are so far beyond the local neighborhoods that you and I and so many of us grew up in. The world is right in front of us, and it's in front of us constantly, with its diverse set of challenges and opportunities. We have to live and work in that world like we never have before. And we're human. And we go through a quick set of assumptions and stereotypes and decisions at every problem that faces. We have to move quickly. And we often move quickly in the wrong way. Sometimes even a whole or the majority of a nation or a country or a community can move the wrong direction, overreact, or react inappropriately to a certain challenge. And I think it's a skill set that has to be learned to be able to lean back and analyze where you've been and have the wherewithal to say, you know what, it's easy to go down the wrong path in these types of complexities. And where did I go wrong? Have I looked at it at every angle? And am I dealing with the problem in an effective way that facilitates change? And to do that is a skill set that has not been needed so much in the history of the world, because there's not been so many differences. We've not been a global world, and communications and the technology have not brought things at us at this degree. I think that's the challenge.